All
Hello,
right,
everyone. This is Sudhakar Moparthi again. I'm having today with me John Utherspoon. I worked with John in the past. He comes from the blockchain and crypto world these days. And we are going to explore together what ChatGPT can do in the world of crypto and blockchain. And John, you're going to help me give some prompts, and then together we will explore. Okay, whatever you want to explore. Before going to ChatGPT, I want John to introduce himself and his company and what kind of things they are doing, so that we can go and check it out together. John.
great. Sudhakar, thanks for inviting me. So I'm John. I am the co-founder of a company called Benify. And Benify is a blockchain application that uses pooling of assets for fundraising. So we create fundraising pools that individuals can join and fractionalize funding for various projects. So think GoFundMe, but with a decentralized environment. And also the real value of our product is when you fund a project, you always get your principal back. We use the yield on that principal to actually fund the project. So if you're funding something or donating, you get your donation back, and that becomes reusable capital. And you can donate again if you want, or you can put it in your pocket and walk away. So Benify is a product. We've launched our beta about a year ago, got about 4,000 users, and we're just getting ready to launch the next rev.
All right, that's a great intro. So let's go to ChatGPT and then start asking it what it can do.
Sure.
Right, let me share my screen. Okay, so this is the one that I've been playing with last couple of days for trying to establish a protocol how we will communicate with ChatGPT and in a very structured way. So quickly, I will give you how I'm thinking here, and then we will go and type in some prompts. This is a JSON object that I asked ChatGPT to build. Uh, and I've been building this as a in a conversational way. So I asked it to create a task object with a title, and then assign that to Sudhakar, and then put a due date. And I asked it to add text, and then I asked it to put these additional information, estimated hours, actual hours for that task. And then I asked it to compute the cost, and then I asked it to create that formula that is used, and this is what the final output came. So as you could see, it did all these things by itself. Okay, so now if I add one more task, add. Okay, maybe I may have to re-log in again, but let me try if it is already logged in or not. Add a task. Add another task to set up a website for crowdsourced AI. Okay. So let's see what it will do. Okay, I may have to re-log in. So let me re-log in. Oh, I just have to refresh, I guess. Okay. Add another task. Sudhakar Moparty. Set up a website for crowdsourced AI.com. Okay. So what it is doing is it is taking the previous JSON object, and then it is creating an additional object, and then it will put some of the values for these things. That's what I'm expecting. Let's see. So now it put the title assigned to Sudhakar Moparty. Okay.
Mhm.
So I just said assigned to, okay. So use the first task properties and put some default values and regenerate the JSON. Okay. So let's see what it will do. So if it has that intelligence, so it will pick up all those previous properties like estimated cost and hourly rate and this and that and all kinds of things. And then it will add to the second task. Title, that's good. It was assigned to Sudhakar, that's good. Due date, okay. So it picked up something from the previous properties, estimated hours, 0, actual hours, 0, hours rate, 0, is actual cost, 0, cost calculations. So it just put all the properties back here, which is what would be a good object, so that now I can go and just edit these things. Okay, so now I can ask it to update second task. I'll ask just create a new JSON for the second task and update estimated hours as say 2 hours. Okay. So I'm expecting only the second task to be created. Okay, now it just picked up just the second task, and then it's going to put estimated hours as 2, estimated cost as 100, and then how it calculated, it told me. So I just need that one object. Note, I have removed the actual hours and actual cost properties from the JSON since they are not applicable for a task that has not yet been completed. Okay, so so what do you think?
Idea.
You get the idea?
Yeah, I get the idea. So in my world, in Benify's world, when I have a couple of actors in my world. I have an actor called a pool manager who composes these financial products to do the funding, right? And then I have beneficiaries who are the recipients of the funds of the fundraising, and then I have participants who actually are the guys who go in and stake their assets to help drive our to help fuel our economy, fuel the pool. So those are my three actors. So the first actor, that pool manager, is going to be interested in in defining, okay, how much money is he trying to raise? You know, how much what's his target fundraising? So let's say he needs to raise for the first phase of a project, he wants to raise $50,000, right? So he is going to then need to determine how big or how big that pool needs to be, how many participants need to be in that pool, how much each participant needs to stake to that pool, how long do they need to stake to that pool, with input from what kind of APR can he get on the assets that are being staked, right? So, and then he can compose a financial product that can meet his goals. And he's going to have a lot of options. He could say, well, I want to raise $50,000, so I'll just have two participants. They will each stake, they'll each stake $250,000, and the yield from that for 90 days, and the yield from that will give them the $50,000. Very simple pool. Or he could say another option is to reach that $50,000 goal. He could say, let's open it up and have 500 participants, each staking significantly less for that same 90 days, right? Or something in between, a number of participants, how much are they staking for more than 90 days? So he's got a lot of variables that he's got to think about as far as what do I need to do? How do I need to compose this instrument in order to raise the funds that I'm looking at, that I'm targeting, and then pick the most attractive one for his audience. So those are the decisions the pool manager has to make. Fundamentally, once he makes that, then he can compose his pool and expose it to the community and start to raise his funds.
So basically, if I have to create a fundraising object, and this is how I would this crowdsourced AI to be told, and then for what purpose are we raising funds? So let's say we want to ask ChatGPT. So let's take a project, and then we'll just ask to make a write up
Sure.
for requesting.
Let's make it charitable. Let's say we're going to build. We want to raise funds to dig wells in a impoverished country, in a third world country. So we want to provide water. We want to dig wells for a community.
Okay, write a summary for raising 50K for a charitable trust providing water resources to a third world country. Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
something like that. Sure.
Add this to the above JSON as a summary object, something like that.
Sure.
So I want that to write some letter and also add that to this JSON, so that we can dump this JSON in some database. We are raising 50K for a charitable trust that provides water resources in a third world country. This will help improve the living conditions of people in the region and provide with access to clean, safe drinking water. Please join us in this important cause and contribute whatever you can do to help our goal.
Very good. Okay.
So what you can do is you can quickly come up with lots of documentation templates with certain information prompts uh, in your area of interest, and then take those templates and then update them
So would this
and
be
then
able to give
use
me
it.
then options? Would this give me options or show me all of the all the options I have for constructing my pool? If I told this AI, the chat, that I can get, let's say I can get 13% APR, right? So that's my yield source will give me 13%. I know I need to raise 50K. So first of all, how much, so how much stake, how much investment do I need to collect to get that 50K, assuming that I've got a 13% APR. And then we go to the question of, from a participant's point of view, how many people do I need to reach out to collect that initial investment so that I can earn that 50K? And some options as far as how long do I need to hold on to that investment? How long do they need to stake? You know, if they stake for a full year, that's pretty straightforward, right? Because 13% APR, right? So I can do that math pretty quickly. But what if I only want them to stake for 6 months or 3 months or 2 months? Then how many participants and how long, you know, what does that scale look like? So then I can try to find my sweet spot and say, based on the community I'm reaching out to, I know they only have a tolerance for 90-day staking. For instance, so how many of these people do I need to reach out to be able to create this?
So all those things, they're like Excel-like things. It can also do some of the Excel-like things. If you have Excel formulas, or it can generate an Excel type of CSV file, I believe. So you can pretty much do Excel work. I'm guessing, because I played with it earlier, and it was able to do the math that is required, just like what you saw. What
Right.
I'm doing here is I'm going one step above what ChatGPT is providing, and I'm saying, let me structure this as an object. Now this is a database record. Now you can create a schema out of this JSON object, and then store it in your database, and provide a portal, and then create web pages and all kinds of
Yeah.
things.
Which
So
is great, because that's how these pool managers, when this
yeah,
guy's raising money,
yeah,
he needs to advertise this. When I say his participants, he
right.
needs to reach out and tell his participants, hey, here's the cause, here's what we're trying to do, and here, here's our goals, and here's how we're going to get there. Please come and join us on this journey, and help out this
So let's ask, what is the role of a pool manager? Is this a term that you guys defined, or is it an industry term?
that is a proprietary term for Benify. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what?
You could look at it as a uh, in a banking world, this would be a portfolio manager.
Okay, portfolio manager. Okay, got it. Okay. So um, add two participants objects with names Sudhakar Mukherjee and John Utherspoon, just to test it out. And so these participants are contributing to this towards this 50K. Yeah.
Right. They're
Okay.
going to stake. And they're going to let you use their money to generate yield, or use their
So
asset
stake
to generate.
amount. So you want a stake amount.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Add stake amount add stake amount
and stake
for
duration.
each participant
Yep.
as let's say 1K. I want to participate with 1K. Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
Okay. So what I'm expecting is I wanted to create a participant object and then put the stake amount as 1K for each one of us. So if somebody looks at this, like now I'm developing a fundraising document here, and it is very structured. And if we can format this into an HTML web page and then put it in our portal, you know, and for the machine, this becomes the database schema, and then you can dump it into the things. And when additional participants come, or tomorrow if you want to add more data to this project, to this schema, you can add additional ones. So what we are doing is we are trying to communicate with the machine in a very structured way, and I chose JSON as a medium of communication.
Yeah. Yeah. This is great. So basically what I'm looking at is my pool description for this specific fundraising pool.
Yeah.
Here are my goals. Here are my goals. And here are some of the details: who's participating, how much they're participating.
So add some more data. You explained a little bit more. So let's see if we can add those couple more objects, and when we look at this, did we get what we wanted without too much of English explanation and very generic way of explaining, instead in a structured way of explaining things, describing things in a very structured way.
Sure. So you want some more detail in a structured
So
way.
so you got the stake amounts. So these participants, now we raised 2K, so we are left with 48K pending.
Right. But and how long are they staking? What's my staking duration? You're giving me, you're staking 1K, but for how long?
Okay. How long? Okay. Create a new JSON, because I don't want to repeat the other things. So I just want to focus on the participant thing.
Yeah.
Create a new JSON with participants only, and add duration of stake, okay, as 1 year. So let's add a lot of other details directly, and then in one shot. Okay. Add, you have duration and you want yield, right? Expected yield, expected yield or estimated yield.
Yeah, expected yield on the staked amount.
Okay. What else you want to
add? And distribute that yield. Distribute 90% of that yield to the project. To the wells. 90% of that yield will go to build to create the wells.
90% goes to
to dig the wells, right? Because we're
Okay.
digging
So
wells.
for the project.
Yeah, goes to the project.
Project. Okay.
And then 10%, well, you can add that, and then another, and then 10%, the remaining 10% will be split between the participants as a reward for donating.
Okay. Let's see. So I just told it to do in my normal English or broken English or whatnot. But let's see what it does. Distribution project 90%. Okay, 10%. That's cool.
Yeah, very good.
So basically, it's like having an assistant, and you be able to eventually get it get your message out to the machine. And why I am showing you like this, you can ask in plain English and it will give you all those answers in plain English.
Right.
But I am also structuring it on top of it so that this will be useful for a developer.
Right. So once you have the JSON, you can do anything you want with the JSON object.
Yeah, you just give this to the developer and then ask them to create a web page showing all this data, or you can ask them to uh, write some functions. So let's ask write a Python function calculating 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 the stake amount and add that function as a property. Okay, let's see. This function takes three arguments: stake amount, expected yield, duration of stake. It calculates the final stake amount based on these inputs, returns the result as a float. Note that this function assumes something. Okay, so now that's a Python function.
Right.
Okay, so now you got a function how to calculate, and then you have your data, and then this can be manipulated further, in your project.
Excellent. Excellent. All right.
I
And
mean, what
then,
I like about these things basically suddenly as a software developer, once productivity goes 5 times because my ideas and thought process are formulated based on my users' requirements in a very structured fashion like this. And then I don't want to worry about all these syntactical things and all that. I'm focusing more on what I want.
right. And then will it evolve? So the
It
more
it
of these
evolves.
I define, then I just describe, then the output should be even more refined, right?
So the goal of the crowdsourced AI project is to provide a portal where you can do this much more easily, uh, and take that output and store that output, all these objects and JSONs, and basically coordinate among the project members and collaborate. So if and behind the scenes we will use, this is just one AI that we're going to use, chat GPT. We're going to integrate that with our systems. uh, any enterprise, any company, they should always have a project where they can integrate with all other projects. So this is that kind of thing, so somebody who can keep track of everything else going on in the company, kind of thing. So that intelligence and doing tasks, how they are being done, um, as if you are interacting with another human. If somebody can do that much more efficiently, nothing like it. So that's how you're going to increase the productivity of any person in the company.
Right, right. Or even break down that company wall. And if you're gathering this type of input from, a larger audience, any crowd, right? True crowdsourcing is not going to be confined just within a company wall. It would be global, a global community, and be able to learn from that.
We can also ask it to write a JavaScript function. Just to give you an example, uh, it's thinking. Create a MySQL schema for the above JSON object storage. So I want to see if it could create my database schema from this. Yeah.
Mhm.
So now it's creating all those schema tables that are required.
Sure.
So it has some intelligence of
Yeah.
about it has knowledge about MySQL, and it has knowledge about JSON. You know, I think one of the things that you guys can do is to create a blockchain technologies related AI. Um,
You could use this, and let's say it would generate Solidity code.
yes,
If we taught
yes,
it, if we taught it to spit out Solidity code so that we
right.
could run it on any EVM or the Ethereum environment.
Yeah, so the
Interesting.
way I'm thinking about this crowdsourced AI is, so you bring in a developer, you ask this developer to teach this AI how to code specifically if it doesn't have that knowledge,
Right.
okay, and enhance that developer's productivity as well, you know, for future things. This AI developer, you know, Solidity developer can work with the other developers to expedite the project, and eventually a lot of things can be streamlined in this fashion.
Right. And if you open source that community, then you're going to improve this exponentially, really.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Okay, so I think you got the idea. So
Good.
I
Thank
just wanted to show you. I mean, I gave a couple of twists here. You know, I showed the capabilities of ChatGPT to construct JSONs in a structured way, and showed how it can write code for you and improve the productivity of your developers. And for non-developers, it can write. We also saw when it wrote that summary, you know, some templates, you know, the documentation, fundraising request, it
Yeah.
put it together a good paragraph by simply asking it to, you know, to write
Right. And
a letter.
in my specific use case, if if a pool manager is trying to harness this funding for whatever their target is, it's a quick way for them to describe it and be able to present that either through a website or whatever to their audience using just simple
Yeah.
English.
So the output of this chat GPT will be the input to the crowdsourced AI project,
Mhm.
and then it will manipulate this JSON and do all kinds of useful things. You know, as you said, uh, creating, dumping into a database of a particular technology, or uh, you know, maintaining a website, communicating with the participants, sending them text messages and all kinds of things. So
Yes.
it can do that collaboration.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this is great. I can think of just in my own little space, I can think of several use cases where this would make a lot of sense.
For this year, all you have to do is to come up with some set of tasks that you want a machine to do.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
and then today you know somebody is doing manually those things, and you want those things to be done by the machine, and that's the kind
Right.
of project you have to initiate, and you know allocate some time, and see how it evolves. And we will invite other participants to develop such an AI. And this AI should specifically, for example, if you in the blockchain world, let's call it as blockchain AI, it should learn whatever it needs to, it has to learn, and then pay for it, pay somebody who is teaching, and
Yeah.
then when it learns, it should provide that service at a cheaper cost to all others,
Right.
and and get that money to learn even more, so
Right.
that there is an ecosystem here to enhance the capabilities of the AI much more rapidly, because there are everybody is ready to work and then get compensated, and the AI is providing you that opportunity. It wants to learn, and it will figure out how to raise money. So what it will
Right.
do is it will learn something, and it will give it that to 1,000 people or million people, and at a very fractional cost, and and it will compensate the producers, or trainers, uh, abundantly, whatever they are asking.
Right. And again, just the use case, there's just a lot of use cases here, but it's something that a lot of people might understand and be able to grasp these days is the creation of an NFT. Let's say I want to create a non-fungible token to represent something in the real world, whether it's a piece of art or a ticket to a concert or whatever. Automating that, it's not a trivial task to create the contract that creates that NFT by hand. But if you could automate that, then you could quickly create these tokens, but also create the token economics behind that token that would pay for the AI environment to do its thing. So now you've created an economic ecosystem where everybody's being compensated for tasks that are occurring.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you do really quick?
There are a lot of possibilities here. So let's continue the dialogue. You got a gist of it, and think about it, and then come up with some thing that you guys can demonstrate at your organization in your
Mhm.
own space. And I would love to work with you guys, and also invite other interested people. We will post this conversation, and we will ask some of our friends, and then invite participants to develop such an AI. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's outstanding. And again, there's a lot of use cases. So let's pick one that's achievable. Very nice. Very
All
nice.
right. Have a nice day, John. Thanks for your
Good.
time, and thanks for
Take care.
showing interest in this project, crowdsourced AI. And this year, I'm going to invite a lot of people to start AI projects in their organizations, and I want to work with them and then see what we can do. I think there is a great opportunity here. ChatGPT is a good start, and I'm sure every company has some sort of an AI project going on, but this is something that being talked these days extensively in social media and Clubhouse. And I also have a Clubhouse club created for this purpose, crowdsourced AI. So I'm going to send you an invitation for that to join, and
Perfect.
let's pick up some days, and we'll meet in Clubhouse and invite others, and where we can directly talk. It's a voice chat Clubhouse, so we can also attract a lot more talent to participate in these kind of projects. Okay.
Looking forward to it, Sudhakar. Thank you.
All right, take it easy. Bye-bye.
Take care.